Hi beautiful girls. So this video is going to be kind of different because it's going to be all about information and little things about me that maybe you don't know. If you've been coming to my Nicole Live video chats, then you might know a little bit more than others. But so anyway, I wrote down a list of questions that you girls have asked me on Facebook about what you want to know about me. So let's get started. So the first question is, what's my favorite movie? Okay, by far, my favorite movie is Titanic. I saw that movie when I was 13, and it just, I don't know what about it, but it made such a huge impact in my life. Like, not only was I bawling in the theater like the whole time, but I went and saw it 13 more times. But I love that movie so much, and so actually it's funny because we just went on this Titanic Memorial Cruise this year on April 14th, 2012, and it was the 100-year anniversary of when the Titanic sank. It was 12 days at sea, and we sailed across the Atlantic Ocean from Southampton, England, all the way to New York. Obviously, Titanic didn't make it all the way to New York, but it was such a powerful experience. Oh my gosh. So my favorite movie is by far Titanic, and then my second one is the one I just saw the other day, and it just came out in theaters, is Les Miserables. And I never say that word right, Les Miserables? Les Miserables, I don't know. So that movie, I loved it because it features salvation and forgiveness is in God, and it's just the whole storyline was so just incredible and moving, and the acting was, I mean, out of this world. Anne Hathaway in that movie was just so talented. I couldn't even believe it. So those are my two favorite movies. My favorite books. Now, this is a hard one because, okay, girls, if you don't already know this, every single night, I swear, every single night, before I go to bed, I always read for about an hour. And the reason I do so is because A, it helps me relax and helps me fall asleep. B, I just love reading in general. And C, it's useful for me to take notes on what I'm reading, also to share them in my live video chats every week, because I do a little mini sermon, a God talk every Friday, so that's part of the reason I love reading also. So my favorite books are, they're not all here with me, but right now I'm loving this book. It's by the author John Bevere, and the book is called Enemy Access Denied. It is so cool. He also wrote another book called The Bait of Satan, which I recommend if you're a Christian and you are facing opposition in your life or temptation, then I really recommend reading his books by John Bevere. Another book that obviously you girls have probably heard of and love is Rick Warren, The Purpose-Driven Life. This is the book that really helped me out of my depression before I became a Christian. My best friend Christina introduced me to this book, and she's like, Nicole, I think you should read this. I think it'll uplift you. And at first I was like, I don't want to read a book about God. That just seems boring. You know, I don't think this whole Christian thing is for me. But when I was reading it, it's just the words and his message and the way Rick Warren puts scriptures into everyday life, it just really moved me. So if you haven't read a lot of Christian books, I would suggest starting with The Purpose-Driven Life. It's very powerful. Another book, if you're an advanced reader and you're a little bit more mature, and if you have a lot of unbelievers questioning you about why you believe in God or how your faith is accurate, I really recommend this book. It's called I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist. And the author is Norman Geisler, and it is amazing. It talks all about how, like the moral law, historian Josephus. It's a very powerful book with geographical and archaeology that they've proven in different biblical cities. So it's a great book if you want to have some more backbone in order to like prove to people that Christianity is true. So I really recommend that book. Also, I recommend a book called The Language of God by Francis Collins, and it's really interesting because it's a former human genome DNA scientist named Francis Collins, who was an atheist, and by studying the human DNA and our genes, he then discovered how intricately made we are and how just impossibly created all of our chromosomes are, and that's why an intelligent creator is the one who obviously formed our bodies. So The Language of God is an excellent book. And also, girls, I love reading books about heaven so much. I love reading about people's encounters with heaven. It makes me so happy. I'm reading a book right now by the author Mary Kay Baxter, and she is an amazing woman of God. She had a revelation of hell, where she went to hell for 30 nights in a row. And then after that, God showed her heaven for several nights in a row. And I love, her book is amazing. It just makes you feel happy reading it, and you just get a little glimpse of heaven, according to her, what she saw and experienced. So, and her book, I believe, is called A Divine Revelation of Heaven. So I recommend that one. So that's for my books. My favorite artists, I love Newsboys. I saw them perform live in Florida this past year. I was there for a Christian retail conference meeting with book publishers, and I saw them perform God Is Not Dead, Roaring Like a Lion, and I was like rocking out. I was just so motivated. I just was like, yeah, God is cool. Like, I was like rocking out on the stage, and I was taking pictures. And so ever since I saw them perform that song, I love Newsboys. I also like Brandon Heath because I like his voice, and I really like his song, Leaving Eden. I think it's a beautiful song. I like Britt Nicole. I like her song Gold. She's really upbeat, and she seems like a sweetheart. My favorite months of the year, it's interesting because I live in LA, so you would think that it would be like summer is my favorite season or something. Well, I mean, I love living here because the weather is unbeatable, but my favorite months are November is because it's my wedding anniversary on November 11th. My birthday is on November 25th, and then Thanksgiving is in November, and then December is obviously Christmas, which is my favorite holiday of all. I got married when I was 25, which I think is the perfect age for me. It's funny because I thought that I would be married maybe when I was a little older, in my later 20s, but then when I met Eric, I was like, oh wow, this guy is for me. He is sent from God, that we're supposed to be together. And the reason I know, this is how I knew we were the right fit. The very first time we had lunch, and we were eating at a restaurant by the beach where I live, and we were talking about the book that I just told you girls about, The Language of God. And he had finished reading it on his way to New York on a plane ride, and I was reading it for one of my college courses, and we were just talking about it, and so right away we had the same belief in God and love for God, and so that kind of connected us on that level. Another thing that we both found in common is we're both very close with our families. He loves his mom so much, and he also loves the fact that I have a big family, and he just loves being around my family so much. So girls, that's another thing. If your boyfriend doesn't want to be around your family, or doesn't want to meet your mom and dad, or just doesn't want to be around them, then chances are he's not a winner. Because if your man loves you, he will want to spend time with your family as well. So we dated for a year, actually 11 months, and then after 11 months he proposed to me on August 11th in front of his mom on his mom's birthday. So it was a really sweet surprise for her, because his mom was so happy for us, and she just knew how happy we were together, and so it was just really sweet that he proposed to me in front of his mom, but also yeah, so that was really sweet. So it was August 11th. And then I really wanted to get married on 11/11/11 just because I liked the significance of the numbers, and that only happens once in a millennium. And also, it's interesting, a lot of people understand that 7 is a biblical divine number, but so is 11. 11 is the symbol and number of angels, and it's also mentioned throughout the Bible. So I felt like it would be a very cherished day if we got to make that happen. So we had a wedding coordinator, and we just went full at it. I bought a bunch of wedding books. I chose my dress quickly. I actually chose 2 different wedding dresses because I loved the top on one of them and I loved the bottom on another. So I had the seamstress, I was like, could you combine these 2 dresses into one dress? And she's like, well, no one's ever asked me that before, but I think it can be done. So I had my dream dress. It was really beautiful, and you've probably seen pictures of it or something online or on Project Inspired. But so we got married within 3 months, and now we've been married a year and a couple months now. and he's my best friend. I knew he was the one because he's my best friend. He treats me like, girls, okay, seriously, listen to me. Your man better treat you like a princess, and he better put your needs before his own. Like, for instance, Eric, in the morning, he'll always bring me like a Coke Zero or, you know, a snack, or he'll ask me if he can make breakfast for me, or like if I'm forgetting to do something, he'll like write it on like a note for me, like, oh, Nicole, make sure you do this, or you have this appointment. He always has my interests in his heart as well. And we just always were truthful with each other. He never ever says a bad word to me. He never, not only never yells at me, but he's the kindest. He always says nothing but nice things, but not in like a phony way. But he never says like, oh, you don't look good, or oh, you should change your outfit, or oh, your makeup doesn't look nice. He never has said anything like that ever in my entire life. He's never criticized me or made me feel down, because girls, love is patient and love is kind and love is not boastful. Girls, if a man or a boy really loves you, he will put your needs before his own, okay? Not only that, but he'll love God with all of his heart. Don't settle for a guy who treats you like garbage, or who is mean to you or puts you down. You are priceless, and you are precious, and you deserve better than that. So yeah, that's my relationship with Eric, and we're just best friends. We hang out with each other. You cannot just be physically attracted to them, because that, you know, obviously you'll always be attracted, but that's not the main thing that will solidify your relationship for a lifetime. So that's that. My favorite food, well, as you can tell, I'm not stick skinny, which I'm proud of. I used to be a hardcore dieter back when I was modeling, and I was not having fun with that. And now I embrace my shape. I mean, I'm not, you know, overweight. I'm curvy, you know, I'm a little curvy, but I'm not, you know, I'm just average. But anyway, honestly and unfortunately, I love the bad food. I love cheeseburgers, French fries. I love buffalo hot wings. Oh my gosh, I love buffalo sauce. And I like French fries, ice cream. No, seriously, it's bad. I like bad food. So I try to eat healthy by eating like grilled chicken and salad, and when I want to eat healthy, like I'll wake up and I'll have yogurt with nuts and fruit in the bowl, and then I'll eat that. And then later in the day, I might have a protein bar. And then for dinner, Eric and I will get like grilled chicken with like some rice or something. So that's kind of what I eat. I think that's it. If you girls have any more questions, leave me a comment in the comment thing, because I read them all. Even if I don't respond to them all, I read them all, I promise. And I will keep that in mind for next video. So I hope you learned something new about me, and I just want to say I love you, and I'm so happy that you found me and found Project Inspired. Okay, bye!